he had to have makeup on and take it off and get down to a second layer of makeup. This is a scientific problem.
The Joker was actually, that was the most fun I've ever had, probably ever will have, playing a character. It was hard stamina-wise. High levels of energy were needed, required every day.
It is difficult at times. But then there's something very empowering about it as well. I think just having like that level of control over yourself.
No one had worked en masse in the movies in a very long time. And of all characters to whom these ideas might apply, just academically, the Joker is one of them. I did have a very early meeting before anything happened with Nick. Creatively, it was very specific. You know, in other words, I wanted to get something more of the elongation. You know, when you look at the drawings, his hair is not bright green, you almost see it as a lighting effect. You know, you're at the beginning, everything's always brand new at a movie, and Tim was feeling that this would come through the lighting, that it wasn't too bright, too green, more of a Clarabelle than a Joker, you know. And I said, oh, you know, Tim, look, you know, I don't agree with that. You don't want that level of clowning. Don't worry, I'll try to be humorous. He is the Joker and funny. And we did the test on the wig, and immediately he saw too bright. Changed the wig, much less green area, you know, much less fright wig element, more, you know. This was also very revolutionary at the time. The chemistry of it was very specific, and they were very inclined toward the creative result of it. And we had a lot of talks. One of the ironies of my life is I'm allergic to spirit gum, you know, the basic unit of movie makeup. He had to have makeup on and take it off and get down to a second layer of makeup. This is a scientific problem.
The only reason I grew up in a household of girls, so there were very few Batman comic books lying around. They were mainly like Archie. So that's probably the only reason why I never grew up reading Batman. But you know, I really love Batman Begins, and the Joker, the character of the Joker, was just too good to turn down. You know, I've said this before, but if Tim Burton was doing The Dark Knight and asked me to play the Joker, I wouldn't have taken it, because you know, to try and even to touch what Jack Nicholson did in Tim Burton's world would be a crime. And so when Chris came to me, and I knew how Chris was, you know, he'd already set up the world for me. I'd seen what world it was that I would be playing in. So I knew it was open for a fresh interpretation, and I also instantly kind of had something up my sleeve, which happened to be exactly what Chris was kind of looking for. We sat down and kind of shared ideas, and they were the same, and so we just went with it. The Joker was actually, that was the most fun I've ever had, probably ever will have, playing a character. It was, and I'm not sure whether it was hard stamina-wise, because it was just high levels of energy were needed, required every day. But it was incredibly enjoyable. Yeah. If I would be interested in playing the Joker, and I knew 5 seconds later exactly how to play it, and I sat down with Chris and shared my thoughts with him, and they were identical to his, and we just kind of went from there. Joker so far is definitely the most fun I've had with any character. It's just out of control. He has no empathy. He's a sociopath, psychotic, mass-murdering clown, and I'm just thoroughly enjoying it. Like, it's exceeded any expectations I've had in terms of what the experience would be like. So it'll be interesting.
I saw Joker last night, and I'm now scared of you, I have to say. And is that as terrible as I would imagine it to be, having a finite amount of time and people counting on you to lose weight for a movie?
It is difficult at times. But then there's something very empowering about it as well. I think just having like that level of control over yourself is something like, yeah, I don't know what, in the beginning, you're exhausted. I mean, sometimes you look at a flight of stairs and it takes like 30 seconds, you have to talk yourself into it. Say like, I can do this, I know I can do this. But then once you reach your target weight, I don't know what happens. It's incredible. You suddenly just feel energized and excited. I think what's fun about this movie is it really keeps you guessing. Like you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't want to ruin that for anybody. Like I think it's fun. There were two sequences. I worked with this choreographer named Michael Arnold.
Oh.
And there's a sequence on the steps and then a sequence where I'm the clown. We worked on those. But that piece was something that really was a reaction to the score. Todd had just received that bit of score actually from Hilda, the composer. And we were just trying to figure out what to do with that scene. And he started playing me that music and we just decided that we wanted something that was just kind of illustrated this transformation into Joker that was nonverbal, and that's what we came up with.
Is that typically how it goes, that you have the score before you're finished shooting the film?
No, but that was the first time I think that I'm aware of where I was so influenced by the score.
Is this movie, we were talking during the commercial break, is it it seemed grueling in some ways. So Joker's laughing a lot and not in a fun way, more like in a Robert De Niro in Cape Fear kind of way, and it just seemed unpleasant to do. Was that the case?
No.
No. You had fun making the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did.
Well, it was a light set, you know. I'm Todd. You know Todd.
Todd Phillips is the director.
And he's really funny, and yeah, I feel almost guilty, but we had a really good time.
It's interesting that you say that.